उपयोगित रखो मात्र कुछ छठन पाए उन्होंने आवाज बंदी थी
मैसेजेस रखो
हां मैसेज को
करे नहीं वो करे पीपीटी की वो करे
चेट थोड़ा साइड तो खुले लो नहीं सही ओके वेरी गुड हां बस ठीक है
ठीक है क्यों करेंगे
इनका
लेफ्ट साइड पे
खींचना
मैंने ये F5 प्रेस किया फुल की अच्छा वॉइस फुल भी सर आवाज गला बना तो
हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीबॉडी लिसनिंग मी हेलो
हां यस सर ठीक है ओके नाउ इट्स फाइन आने ही गला F5 कर दो क्लिक करें सर हां F5 कर दो क्लिक करो सर हां ठीक है
ओके
और लिखंदा बोलो चेंज देखो लेक्चर में नहीं क्या ले
भैया है
सर क्या ले क्या ले कैमरा मेरा सभी वीडियो का बंद था
Assalamu alaikum to everyone. I hope my name is Dr. Abdulaziz and I with you all will be there. Good in health. As we know, we are facing the COVID pandemic. And that is a big challenge for we people, and we have to learn to live with this COVID. I hope you all are following the SOPs for your protection. We have completed esophagus, stomach. Now we are going to start the intestine. We take the food, prepare the food to swallow, and then we digest the food, and then the mechanism of absorption starts.
तो रिकॉर्डिंग भले पे वॉइस भले तेज रखते तो वॉइस में
So today we are discussing the malabsorption syndromes. The term malabsorption denotes disorder in which there is a disruption of the digestion and nutrient absorption. Actually, this is not a proper diagnosis. This needs there are many causes for the malabsorption. There are many mechanisms by which we people absorb the food. Different nutrients are absorbed at different places. Different mechanisms are used to absorb the different nutrients. As for concern, the intestine, length of small intestine and colon is 300 centimeters and 80 centimeters. Functional surface area is approximately 600 folds greater than the hollow tube. As a result of greater than hollow tube as a result of the presence of the folds, villi in the small intestine and microvilli. Intestinal epithelium cells continuously renew with new cells at the base of the crepes, migrating over 48 to 72 hours to tip of the villus. It means it's continuously renewed and almost 48 hourly or 72 hourly. So pathophysiology of the male absorption by three mechanisms. Intraluminal digestion may be intraluminal. There may be problem in the mucosal wall or right the surface of the mucosa and the post mucosal lymphatic obstruction or any problem in the carrying mechanism of the nutrients. Just like that, look at this picture. Lumen, this is the wall, and this is the carrying mechanism. So any problem in the lumen, that is due to the deficiency of enzymes. Okay. Any obstruction, unavailability of the food. Sorry, there was sounds. So kindly, anybody who is joining, please mute their voice so that class may run smoothly. Everybody who is coming, he is making noise. So male absorption may be luminal, that may be at the surface of the mucosa and at site of the absorption or in the carrying mechanism. So this is the mechanism basics that where problem occurs, what could be the possible conditions and what could be the possible sequences of that mechanism disruption of the absorption. That is the alteration in the digestive process, that is the intraluminal phase. Usually what is the alteration in this phase of the absorption? Usually there are deficient enzymes. Certain enzymes are required to digest food and help in absorption. If they are found to be deficient, then patient will be, the digestive mechanism will be unable to absorb. Simply, you can remember the deficient enzymes may lead to the intraluminal phase digestion disruption, in which deficit of the bile sites, there is the enterohepatic circulation, any liver disease, In the deficit enzymes, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatic cancer, cystic fibrosis, pancreatic surgery, congenital diseases of the pancreas. So these are the diseases that lead to the deficiency of these enzymes at the Bruch border or inside the lumen. So we can assume that we have to memorize because we are dealing with the patients and we found that the patient is suffering from chronic pancreatitis. We should assume that patient may or may have something along with this disease because in this disease there is a deficiency of certain enzymes which are required to digest the food. So we have to think about that. Alteration of uptake and transport caused by damage or reduction of absorption surface, that's epithelial and parietal cells. Intestinal wall, celiac disease, tropical sprue, Crohn's disease, inflammatory bowel disease, gastroenteritis, autoimmune enteropathies, radiation enteritis. So all these conditions, lymphomas, bowel resection, intestinal bypass, all these conditions come in this epithelial luminal phase of malabsorption, and that impair the global absorption. Alteration of circulation, there's a lymphatic and blood circulation, mesenteric ischemia, heart failure, constrictive pericarditis, portal hypertension, secondary lymphatic obstruction. These are the conditions which affect on this phase. Any CCF causes the condition. Any obstruction to the lymphatic causes the condition. Any food which is absorbed will be not taken easily towards the body due to this carrying mechanism in the intestine. This is enterohepatic circulation. Bile salts are circulated repeatedly. Liver, gallbladder forms, these are secreted, bile acids are secreted, and these are reabsorbed. About 4 grams are again reabsorbed. 0.5 are excreted. Only 0.5 gram are synthesized per day. At this new bile acids are added to this food, and that leads to the digestion. Any disruption in this uh, uh, circulation may lead to the deficiency of bile acids, resection of the gut, uh, obstruction to the bile may lead to the deficiency of the bile acids. So just like synthesis decrease hepatic. Now anything which is participating in this process circulation, if it is disease, that definitely will affect the bile acids. There is a liver, there is a biliary system, there is a jejunum, ileum, colon. So any disease of any part of it may lead to the deficiency of the acids. Synthesis, it is synthesized in the liver. So pathophysiology, any disease of the liver may lead to the disrupt the synthesis of the bile acids, bile secretion, canalicular function, primary biliary disease, maintenance of conjugated bile acids, bacterial overgrowth, jejunal diverticulosis may lead to this problem. Reabsorption, abnormal ileal function, you can say maybe resected or a disease, that is chronic disease. So this is the overview You should know what things are absorbed, how they are absorbed, what parts are involved to absorb our nutrients. Then we will keep in mind these things: anatomy, pathology, physiology. Then we will quickly reach at the diagnosis, quickly reach at the problem point. So you have to revise all these things repeatedly. I have already told you that this is the final year. You should have, you should revise pathology, pharmacology, and physiology to make, to become a good physician. You have to remember these things, and your concept should be clear. By keeping in mind these processes, you will quickly judge a patient with cirrhosis. You will assess what could be the possible nutrient deficient in a cirrhotic patient, and then you will replace it. These nutrients, like primary bilirubin, diverticulosis, same thing, other diseases which are involving or affecting the different sites or different mechanisms of absorption. You will quickly assess the deficiencies of these problems. You will sort out the problems and you will treat very effectively. This is how fluids are absorbed and secreted. Most of the fluids are secreted 5,000 ml gastric secretion, 1,500 liver, 1 liter, 2,000 ml, 1,000 per day. These are the per day values. Intestinal secretion 2 liters, and these are absorbed in the small intestine. 7 liters, 800 milliliters are absorbed. This part of the intestine. Other, it is most it is absorbed in the colon. In the surgery, you have seen there are some patients in which they do the ileostomy. अगर इलियोस्टोमी करेंगे तो आपको पता होना चाहिए कि वाटर एब्जॉर्ब नहीं होगा इलियोस्टोमी पेशेंट में, उसकी सिक्रेशन बहुत लॉस होगी. You have to care about it. If you know the mechanism where the water is absorbed and you are cutting that part, then you should keep in mind that what will be the consequences of this procedure. If any patient have no colon, this colectomy is done, or some people we are doing the ileostomy due to any obstruction or any pathology, we are removing that part of the gut. So in the following years, we should know that what will be the deficient nutrients in this patient, and we have to keep these nutrients in the patients. Continuously, we will assess the deficiencies of these nutrients, and we will provide these nutrients to the patients. So this was the whole, and this is the short bowel syndrome. Sometimes actually problem is that you know where which thing is absorbed, then you will come to know. अगर पेशेंट में सर्जरी हुई है, आपको वो बताए भी नहीं कि मेरी कौन सी सर्जरी हुई है, then a good doctor can assess through the other tests what is, where was the problem. Just like bile acid and the duodenum, iron, folate, calcium, these things are absorbed in the duodenum, while the cobalamin is absorbed in the ileum. Okay, if some person having a normal cobalamin B12 level, deficient iron and folic acid, then you can assume that the problem is the proximal small intestine rather than the distal. अगर आपको पता ही नहीं है कि सर्जरी में कौन सा पार्ट इसका काटा गया था, तो अगर आप टेस्ट करवाएंगे उसमें देखेंगे उसको आयरन डेफिशिएंसी नहीं है, उसका फोलेट कम है, कैल्शियम कम है, उसका B12 आपने चेक किया वो बिल्कुल सही है, आप ये एज्यूम कर सकते हैं इस पेशेंट में ड्यूटीना वाला पार्ट जो है वो अफेक्टेड है। ये अलग से टॉपिक है, that also leads to the malabsorption, so we will discuss in other class, okay, in detail what could be the possible consequences of the sharp pulsing. In detail, if you know the problem, digestion process of the fat and which organs are involved in the digestion of these this nutrient that is the fat, you can assess easily. Pancreas leads to the lipolysis. Liver is involved in the micellar solubilization with bilysis. Jejunal mucosa leads to the absorption of the fat. Lymphatic system is involved in the delivery system. Any problem in the pancreas will lead to defective lipolysis. Any problem in the liver disease may lead to micellar solubilization problem. So fats are not absorbed. If fats are not absorbed, fat soluble vitamins are not absorbed. Fat soluble vitamins are not absorbed, then the problems arise due to the deficiencies of the fat soluble vitamins, and then you can assess in if you know these pathological sites, then you can assess the patient and you can diagnose the patient. The patient having a coagulation problem due to vitamin K deficiency along with the osteoporosis or osteopenia. Then you will reach at the diagnosis, what is the problem. Patient is suffering from. There are certain drugs which also leads to the malabsorption. Colchicine inhibits the Krebs valguinean and lactase, neomycin precipitase, bile salts, gut inhibition on lactase, methotrexate, folic acid antagonist, causing inhibition of Krebs cell cholesterol binds to the bile salts, lead to the malabsorption. Laxatives, they are causing the diarrhea when bile salts are removed in the fecal matter. So we are coming towards the presentation. Symptoms. Patient, how will patient presents? Patient suffering from malabsorption, diarrhea, there may be steatorrhea. It is not necessary. There are certain nutrients which are isolatedly not absorbed and leading to no symptoms. Just like in the Prater cell deficiency lead to the pernicious anemia, patient have no problem, no symptom. You find the patient anemic and you got the CBC and you saw there deficient cobalamin absorption lead to the megaloblastic anemia. So the patient have no problem. Diarrhea may be symptom, may be sign. If patient is complaining about diarrhea in the decrease stool consistency, increase volume, stool volume, increase in number of bowel movements. These are the symptoms. Patient may complain. Combination of these three are isolated anyway. जब भी किसी को मोशन होते हैं वो या तो ये कहता है कि मुझे पकाना बन के नहीं आता है, या तो उसका वॉल्यूम ज़्यादा है, या वो कहता है कि बार बार मैं वॉशरूम जाऊँ, तो ये सिम्टम के तौर पर प्रेजेंट करते हैं. Sometimes you are assuming the patient is suffering from diarrhea, but patient is not complaining, then you have to go for the quantitative assessment of those two. More than 200 to 25 ml gram per 24 hour on Western type diet. Individuals consuming the diet with higher fiber is to maybe normally to 400 per 20. So any stool consistency more than 400 or on Western diet more than 225 ml, you will say that this patient is suffering from diarrhea. Diarrhea may be acute, is less than 14. They have different presentation, different causes, and mostly these are the infection. There are infectious causes, bacterial, viral, and usually they have a low symptoms of the malabsorption. Only due to the diarrhea, there may be volume disturbance. You will find patient may be dehydrated. Nutritional deficiency of acute diarrhea may be less likely. While in the chronic diarrhea, this is the big criteria of the diseases that comes into the chronic diarrhea that may lead to the malabsorption, deficiencies of the different nutrients. Malabsorption may present with steatorrhea, that is an increase in stool fat excretion of more than 6% of dietary intake. जितनी फैट हम लेते हैं, जितने भी लें उसका 6% से ज़्यादा स्टूल आए तो उसको हम स्टेटोरिया. So it is not necessary कि all malabsorption symptoms जो वो डायरिया के साथ हैं या all जो हैं वो स्टेटोरिया के साथ हैं. Now you have learned about the different causes, different mechanisms are involved. So symptoms may be according to the mechanism involved. There are certain conditions in our body. Their absorption is increased. Both these are the diseases. Malabsorption, decreased absorption of the nutrients, and there are two metabolic diseases that involve the increased absorption. Wilson disease, which causes the increased absorption of the copper. Okay. Hemochromatosis, that that is due to the increased absorption of the iron. You should keep in mind that there are certain diseases that may lead to the increased absorption of Wilson disease and hemochromatosis. Clinically, how a patient will present, it depends upon the deficient nutrient. Due to deficiency of the protein, patient may present with wasting, generalized wasting, edema, carbohydrates and the fats, fluid and electrolyte due to the diarrhea and dehydration. Iron may lead to the anemia, cirrhosis, angular stomatitis. You know everything. Now you have to recall the things. आपने मरीज को ये चीज़ एसेस करनी, इनमें से जो भी नजर आना आए आप समझ जाएं इसके पीछे क्या प्रॉब्लम. ठीक है. पैरेस्थेसिया और ये विटामिन के कैमोसिस, कोगुलेशन प्रोफाइल में डिस्टर्बेशन होती है, जिंक में स्किन प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं. लाइक दैट एवरीथिंग यू शुड कीप इन माइंड. कौन से न्यूट्रिएंट्स से किस तरह प्रेजेंट होगा. ठीक है. ये इनके पीछे सारी पैथोफिजियोलॉजी आपको रिमेम्बर करना. Evaluation of as per se whole malabsorption. उसमें डिफरेंट टेस्ट होते हैं. जनरल टेस्ट malabsorption जैसे हमने पीछे पढ़ा कि डायरिया होती है, उसमें न्यूट्रिएंट्स आते हैं, डायरिया के साथ स्टेटोरिया होती है. और इस तरह क्वांटिटेटिव स्टूल फैट टेस्ट करते हैं, क्वालिटेटिव स्टूल टेस्ट करते हैं, हाइड्रोजन ब्रेथ टेस्ट करते हैं. नॉर्मली क्या होता है पेशेंट में हाइड्रोजन इन ब्रेथ नहीं होती, वो बायो सेलुलोज वगैरह लेता है, कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स लेता है, हाइड्रोलाइज एंजाइम्स होते हैं वो उसको डाइजेस्ट कर देते हैं, ठीक है, तो हाइड्रोजन नहीं बनता। कोलोन में लैक्टोलोज और ग्लूकोज सब्सटेंसेस नहीं होता है। अगर एंजाइम डेफिशिएंसी होगी, मेल एब्जॉर्प्शन ऑफ द कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स होगा, many carbohydrates will be available in the colon to the bacteria, and bacteria digest that carbohydrates and make the hydrogen, and hydrogen is absorbed through the intestine into the blood, and it comes into the breath. तो पेशेंट जब में एंजाइम डेफिशिएंसी होगी, कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स इंटेस्टाइन में जाएंगे, इंटेस्टाइन में वो substrate होंगे bacteria in the colon, and that will lead to the production of hydrogen, and that will be tested in the breath. So we come to know that there is a deficient enzymes in the small intestine that leads to the availability of carbohydrates in the colon, and that leads to the development of hydrogen, and this there is problem in the small intestine. These are certain specific tests. Pancreatic function के लिए आप क्या करेंगे? Pancreatic enzymes की लेवल करेंगे. Bacterial overgrowth, उसके लिए आप क्या करेंगे? Intestinal aspirate लेंगे, कल्चर करेंगे, वही हाइड्रोजन ब्रेथ टेस्ट करेंगे, और जो टेस्ट फॉर म्यूकोजल डिजीज स्मॉल बाउल बायोप्सी लेंगे टेस्ट, और इलियल क्या कहते हैं फंक्शन शिलिंग टेस्ट और सीएफ टेस्ट करेंगे. So we will discuss the most common cause of the malabsorption, that is the celiac disease. I will try to complete at least a little bit introduction about the different diseases that lead to the malabsorption. Most common. While other you should go through the book. Celiac disease can be defined as small bowel disorder characterized by mucosal inflammation, less stroke, Krebs hyperplasia, which occurs upon exposure to dietary gluten, and which demonstrates improvement after withdrawal of gluten from the diet. Permanent dietary disorder occurring in genetically susceptible individuals due to an immunological response to which gluten and similar proteins found in rye, barley, and to a lesser extent to oats. Other names of this disease are non-tropical celiac, adult celiac disease, and gluten-free sensitive enteropathy. This is seen more common in the females than males. Pathogenesis, there are multiple factors involved. Genetics runs in the family. Gluten, gender, male or more, females are more involved. Infants feeding usually occurs in infants. Sometimes it occurs certain infections. So these are the infections. Pathogenesis, exactly, you cannot say. These are the triggers to the immune response, and that lead to the celiac disease. Why this immune system is activated, so still it is not so clear. Genetics, high in whites, low in blacks and Asians. Serological study provide clear evidence that celiac disease is present worldwide. Strong HLA association, 90 to 95% of patients HLA-TQ2, and most of the remainder are HLA-TQ8. These are the two HLA antigens which are strongly associated with the development of the celiac disease. 10% of patients have an affected first degree relative absence of DQ2, DQ2, at accrue the diagnosis. Whenever we are suspecting and we have to not find anything and still we are suspecting, we have to go to this test. If this is the negative, then we can say that patient have no celiac disease. To say that patient have no celiac disease, you have to go through this test. So clinical manifestation, classical, atypical, patient asymptomatic, that is and maybe associated with incidentally latent. We can say that this patient is not evaluated for other disease and we found that patient is suffering from celiac diseases. Other genetic disorder which have association with the celiac disease, Down syndrome, Turner syndrome, 4 to 19%, 4 to 8%, and IgA deficiency 7%. Other autoimmune associated with celiac disease because there's the autoimmune processes initiated in the body. It will also lead to other problems of autoimmune nature, like type 1 diabetes, thyroiditis, arthritis, autoimmune liver diseases, Sjogren's syndrome, idiopathic dilated cardiomyopathy, IgA nephropathy. These are the other autoimmune disorders which are also found in patients suffering from celiac disease. So classical, atypical, silent, and latent. These are the clinical presentations. Usually patient present classical, that's a gastrointestinal manifestation. Most common as its presentation 6 to 24 months. जब बच्चा दूध छोड़कर खाना खाना गंदम में ऐसी कोई चीज जिसमें ग्लूटेन वो खाना शुरू करता है, you can say that ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग से पेशेंट को शिफ्ट किया जाता है सॉलिड फूड्स पे, उस वक्त पेशेंट में ये चीजें जाहिर होना शुरू हो. Chronic recurrent diarrhea, abdominal distension, anorexia, failure to thrive, weight loss, abdominal pain, vomiting, constipation, irritability. Remember, patient may present with all of these symptoms, any one of these symptoms. It is not necessary patient suffering from the celiac disease, classical symptoms, GI symptom may be the diarrhea only. Sometimes children come to the doctor with distended belly, no cause. Anorexia, these patients may present to the doctor with failure to thrive. अब बहुत सारे पेशेंट देखेंगे वो कंप्लेन करेंगे भाई ये बच्चे की उम्र बड़ी ज़्यादा हो रही है और उसका कद इतना नहीं है, सेकेंडरी सेक्सुअल कैरेक्टर्स डेवलपमेंट नहीं हो पा रहे हैं इसके, व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम. सो दिस मे बी द प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ celiac disease. Constipation is also one of the presentation of celiac disease. So, though very rarely, but you have to keep in mind, the patient में अगर failure to thrive है, developmental milestones उसके not achieved हैं, तो उसके साथ अगर constipation भी आ रही है, तो आप उसको overlook ना. Non-gastrointestinal manifestation most common at present older and child. याद रखिएगा, celiac can present at any age. Usually classical symptoms are present in the children, infants, while older child or adult can present with other manifestations. They are called atypical presentation. Skin manifestation, dermatitis herpetiformis. जिस पेशेंट को dermatitis herpetiformis होता है, हम कहते हैं कि डेफिनेटली दिस पेशेंट है celiac disease. अगर बायोप्सी प्रूविन है dermatitis herpetiformis, तो समटाइम बुक से कि आप इवेल्यूट ही ना करें celiac disease के लिए, उसको चेक ही ना करें, वर्कअप ही नहीं करवाएं, इसकी इतनी स्ट्रांग एसोसिएशन है इसके साथ. अगर पेशेंट को celiac है, इट्स नॉट नेसेसरी पेशेंट सफरिंग फ्रॉम herpetiformis. If patient have dermatitis herpetiformis, so without investigation, you can say patient is suffering from celiac disease. Other dental anomalies, hypoplasia, permanent teeth, osteopenia, osteoporosis के साथ patient, which one? You keep in mind, right? Atypical manifestations are usually in the older adults, childs and adults. बच्चों में हो सकते हैं, मगर usually जो होते हैं वो adult की presentation ये होती है, short stature के साथ, delayed puberty, iron deficiency in isolated, sometimes hepatitis leading to cirrhosis, very rarely. In our community, I am working in workshop since 10 years, and I have seen about 5 to 6 cases cirrhosis, which are diagnosed after the development of the cirrhosis, and we could not found any other cause, and concomitant mutations and celiac disease diagnosed. So arthritis, epilepsy, occipital calcifications, these are the rare presentation of the celiac disease. So mind should be clear that only diarrhea is the presentation of the celiac disease. It's not wrong. Dermatitis herpetiformis, erythematous macular urticaria, बहुत ही होते हैं. Severe pruritus होती है इसमें, और यहाँ पे हेड सेंसर सरफेसेस पे वेरी इची, 90% no GI symptoms. Symmetrical distribution, 75% have villus atrophy on the endoscopy, and they are gluten sensitive. Other skin disorders which are associated with the celiac disease, acquired ichthysis, cutaneous amyloidosis, cutaneous vasculitis, dermatitis, herpetiformis, eczema. ये दूसरी जो भी कंडीशन है, इनके लिए ये नहीं कहा जाता है कि अगर ये हो तो पेशेंट को celiac होगी लाजमी. Don't work up like that. सिर्फ dermatitis herpetiformis के लिए ये कहते हैं कि पेशेंट को अगर ये diagnosed है, biopsy proven है, so you can say the patient has celiac disease also. Dental anomaly defects. Secondary dentation may be the only presentation sign of celiac disease. ये देखिए. Short stature, delayed puberty, usually in children, definitely. If problems start before the puberty, that will lead to the short stature or delayed puberty. ये याद रखिएगा. जिस बच्चे में puberty आने से पहले celiac अपना जोर पकड़ ले, तो definitely that will lead to the short stature. और these are the delayed menarche. Iron deficiency anemia or resistant to oral iron supplement, most common non-GI manifestation in some adult studies, 5 to 8% adults with unexplained iron deficiency anemia have celiac disease. In children with newly diagnosed celiac disease, anemia is the most common. Little evidence that celiac disease is common in children present with anemia. Investigation or general rule testing should be begun with serology, evaluation, immunologic, IgA, and tissue transglutaminase. Antibodies is a single preferred test for detection of celiac disease in individual over the age of 2 years. तो ज़्यादा की उम्र को हो तो उसमें ये याद रखिएगा, जब भी हम टीटीजी लिखते हैं ना तो पहली टीटीजी छोटी होती है, ये इस तरह हम लिखते हैं, ठीक है। Variety of other serological tests have been described in the diagnosis of celiac diseases. Endomycin antibodies करते हैं तब, और IgG एंटीबॉडीज भी होती हैं, और IgA ग्लाइडिन पेप्टाइड्स होती हैं, मगर इनमें सेंसिटिविटी और स्पेसिफिसिटी का फर्क होता है, इसलिए दे आर नॉट प्रिफर्ड. You can do diagnosis not clear. High probability that more than 5% है, अगर आपको सस्पेक्ट लग रहा है कि पेशेंट में डेफिशिएंसीज आ रही हैं डिफरेंट न्यूट्रिएंट्स की, और आप सस्पेक्ट कर रहे हैं, you should go for serology, DTG, IgA, and along with the duodenal biopsy. Both are positive, it is celiac disease. Both are negative. Celiac disease is unlikely. If still you think, then you have to, as I already told you, for genotyping for HLA-DQ2 and DQ8 to exclude the diagnosis of celiac diseases. Sometime अगर आप एंडोस्कोपी किया, आपने विलस सेस्ट्रापी देख ली, तो विलस सेस्ट्रापी को दूसरे बता दीजिए. लो प्रोबेबिलिटी भी है तो उसमें भी आपने सीरोलॉजी करवानी है. सीरोलॉजी पॉजिटिव आए तो डिविजनल पाइप से मस्त करवाना है, ठीक है. टीटीजी IgA लो आ रहा है तो IgG भी साथ में करवाना है, ठीक है. अगर पॉजिटिव तो फिर डिविजनल बायोप्सी, और फिर दोनों को चेक करेंगे. Like that, negative TTG IgA, normal IgA level, celiac disease unlikely. Even if you are suspecting, then go for the clinic. So endoscopy is second endoscopy because of biopsy. Patient with positive serology and patient with high probability of celiac disease, more than percent, regardless of the serology, should undergo an upper GI endoscopy with small bowel biopsy to confirm the diagnosis of the celiac disease. Exceptions are those who have biopsy proven dermatitis herpetiformis. पहले मैंने बताया कि जिन पेशेंट में biopsy proven dermatitis herpetiformis हो, उनमें फिर ये दूसरी बायोप्सी लेने की जरूरत है. Diagnosis can be established without small bowel biopsy. 95% specifically to IgA, IgG. Sometimes patient is also suffering from IgG, immunoglobulin IgA deficiency. Then these patients have a deficient this enzyme. In that situation, you go for IgG antibodies. Tissue transfer from IgA, usually we advise this. But IgA deficiency, you can go for the IgG. Anti-gliadin antibodies are not recommended because of the lower sensitivity. HLA typing associated with celiac disease, 95% में DQ2 होता है, and rest of them DQ2 value, high negative predictive value. मैंने पहले भी बताया कि जिनमें ये नेगेटिव आ जाए DQ2 to exclude the celiac disease with 99% confidence. एंडोस्कोपी में हम किस तरह देखेंगे? स्कोलोपी में विलस से ट्राफी होती है तो ये फोल्ड्स, म्यूकोजल फोल्ड फुल फोल्ड होता है. यहाँ पे देखेंगे ये मिसिंग है, यहाँ पे फ्लैट हो गया है, कट. इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? स्कोलोपी, स्कोलोप कहते हैं. अदर एंडोस्कोपिक फाइंडिंग्स द नोडुलर D2. आप एंडोस्कोपी में आएंगे जो भी हमारे पास जरूर आइएगा वार्ड में. इंशाल्लाह कोविड के बाद हम आपके क्लिनिकल क्लासेस करेंगे, तो उसमें फिर आप एंडोस्कोपी में इंशाल्लाह जरूर दिखाएंगे. इट इज मोर कॉमन इन आवर सेटअप. Serrated D2, ये जो sawtooth appearance होती है इसमें. विलस एट्रॉफी यूजुअली इस तरह दिखती है, ये नॉर्मल है। एट्रॉफिक विलस इस तरह नजर आते हैं। Once you confirm the diagnosis, you have to look for the other comorbid condition along with the celiac disease. You go for to see the anemia, full blood count, nutrient deficiency. You have to go for that. Iron is vitamin B12 deficiency, folate, calcium, phosphate, parathyroid hormone, vitamin D levels, liver function test, thyroid function test. To look for the osteoporosis, bone density, skin. These are the other conditions on which we will find the blessed trophy. There are many other conditions. Crohn's disease may lead to the blessed trophy. Eosinophilic diabetes, intestinal lymphoma. This is the big list. You cannot only on the finding of the blessed trophy, you cannot say this person is suffering from celiac disease. You have to look for the other causes also. Along with this, you have to go for the serology for celiac disease. Histological classification, we do the March classification, in which we see the intraepithelial lymphocytes, perhaps hyperplasia, then villus atrophy. So March may be classified type 1 if there is only intraepithelial lymphocyte along with hyperplasia. Type 2, type 3A, in which there is a villus atrophy, partial, subtotal, type 3B and type 3C, total villus atrophy. Treatment as a general rule, where there are 6 key elements in the management of the patient. Celiac disease, you can summarize it following. Celiac, that is the consultation with skilled dietitian, education about the disease, lifelong adherence to the gluten-free diet, identification and treatment of nutritional deficiency. Access to an advocacy groups. There are certain groups in the foreign countries which helps to the patient. Continuous long-term follow-up by multidisciplinary team. These are the main steps of the to manage the patient with celiac disease. If patient is not responding to gluten-free diet, you think of also 5 things. Patient with poor compliance or non-adherent gluten injection, more than 90% ये होता है. Patient poor compliance to diet. Patient with clinical or histological features overlap with celiac disease but are caused by other disorders. Patient with concurrent disorder, other associated autoimmune disorder possibility. Patient with refractory skin, very rarely. Patient with ulcerative degenerative or intestinal lymphoma, these are complications of long-standing celiac disease. You also think a patient is not responding to gluten. These are the very rare conditions, complication of that. So mostly whenever you encounter a patient not improving with the gluten-free diet, take a good history, because more than 90% patients are those who have poor compliance to the diet. I already told you the dermatitis atopic celiac disease associated with number of skin disorders. This is the most common, and there is a treatment that patient improvement in dermatitis herpetiformis following withdrawal of gluten may be considered delayed 6 to 12 months. अगर पेशेंट ने खाने पीने में परहेज किए, gluten निकाल दिए, तो एटलीस्ट 1 year लग जाता है इस पेशेंट